It is narrated from Abu Hurairah that the Prophet said, "This world is worthless, and everything in it is worthless, except for the remembrance of our Lord, actions that please our Lord, and those who are engaged in knowledge." This statement is powerful enough to completely reshape the way a person sees life, because most people naturally assume that what they see is real, what they own is lasting, and the life they are living is something solid, something permanent, something worth holding on to without question. But this hadith flips that entire mindset upside down and forces you to confront a reality you may have been ignoring all along. The things you consider valuable might actually have no real value in the sight of our Lord, and the things you overlook might be the only things that truly matter. This world is like a beautifully decorated illusion. From the outside, it looks attractive, it pulls you in, it gives you hope, excitement, and the feeling that this is where everything happens, that this is where your story begins and ends. But if you pause for a moment, if you allow yourself to reflect, if you think about death even briefly, you start to realize that this is only a temporary stop, a short journey, not the final destination. And yet, most people live as if this temporary stage is everything, shaping their entire existence around something that is destined to fade. When the Hadith describes the world as worthless, it is not a casual statement. It is exposing a deep misunderstanding. It is telling us that we are seeing reality in reverse, that we are giving permanence to what is temporary and ignoring what is eternal. That is why people chase things that will not last and neglect what will stay with them forever. The Quran makes this truth even clearer. You prefer the life of this world, while the hereafter is better and more lasting. This is where the real mistake lies, because people tend to choose what is immediate over what is eternal, what is visible over what is unseen, and often they only realize the weight of that choice when it is too late. Think about it for a moment. A person spends their entire life planning for a few decades, investing all their energy into something that will eventually slip away, while postponing or even ignoring what will never end. Yet, a truly rational person would always choose what lasts over what disappears. Because the greatest joy in this world will come to an end, the biggest achievement will eventually be forgotten, and the greatest wealth will never stay in your hands forever, but what is gained in the hereafter will never be lost, never decrease, and never fade away. When you compare this world to the hereafter, the difference is undeniable. In this world, pleasures are temporary. They come and go, leaving behind only memories. In the hereafter, blessings are constant and never interrupted. In this world, time is limited. Every moment passing brings you closer to the end, while in the hereafter, there is no end. In this world, even the best experiences carry a hidden fear of loss, but in the hereafter, there is no fear, no nucks, no loss at all. And yet, despite all of this, people still center their lives around this world, which only shows how easily the human heart becomes distracted by what is right in front of it while neglecting what lies beyond.
But this does not mean the world has no purpose, because this world is the place where the hereafter is earned. It is a testing ground, a preparation phase, and everything you do here shapes your eternal future. So the world is not the goal, it is the path. Not the destination, but the journey towards something far greater. That is why the Hadith makes an important exception: the remembrance of our Lord, actions that please Him, and those who seek knowledge are not part of what is considered worthless. Because these are the things that connect you to what is eternal. Remembering our Lord keeps the heart alive. The moment a person forgets their Lord, they begin to lose themselves, their direction, their sense of purpose, and an emptiness starts to grow inside them. True peace is only found in remembering our Lord, and without that connection, nothing can truly satisfy the heart. When you look at the life of the Prophet, you see that he remembered our Lord in every moment, not just in acts of worship, but in every part of his life, teaching us that this remembrance is not something occasional, but something constant. The value of actions is not in how many you do, but in the sincerity behind them. A person can perform many deeds, but if those deeds are not done purely for our Lord, they lose their true value. On the other hand, even a small action, if done with sincerity, can raise a person and bring them closer to our Lord. Knowledge is the light that guides this entire path. Without knowledge, a person cannot truly distinguish right from wrong, cannot perform their acts of worship correctly, and may fall into mistakes without even realizing it. That is why seeking knowledge is not just a virtue, it is a necessity. Imagine a society that values knowledge, that reads, learns, reflects, and lives by what it knows. Such a society leads rather than follows, influences rather than being influenced. But when knowledge is neglected, people lose their direction and begin to live according to the standards set by others. This is why the first command was read, because knowledge is what brings light into darkness. And those who dedicate themselves to knowledge do not only transform their own lives, they impact countless others. A single piece of knowledge passed on can guide someone years later, and that effect can continue for generations. As the Prophet taught us, when a person dies, their deeds come to an end except for three: ongoing charity, beneficial knowledge, and a righteous child who prays for them. This shows that knowledge is not just valuable in this life, it is an investment that continues even after death. In the end, this hadith gives us a clear standard. What brings you closer to our Lord is valuable, and what distances you from Him is not. Once you truly understand this, you begin to see life differently, and you start to choose your path with awareness. So, take a moment and ask yourself, what are you really chasing? Something temporary that will fade away, or something eternal that will stay with you forever? Like the video and follow the channel.